check. Waiting on the site. Alright, we got an update. Looks good. Okay. Alright, well, same type of exercise as last time. The Speechologue. Idea here being, I'm literally just trying to get myself out of my head. Wasn't able to do this yesterday, ran out of time. There's a practice I missed. Woke up super early, right after the time I did this, and just wasn't feeling well enough to, well, I shouldn't say that, I was feeling nauseous after, but I did a 4 a.m. run, and then had one of those like random enlightenment epiphanies, but I thought it was worth the time, and then showed up to work, ended up with like a stupid long like work day, and then wasn't feeling good for practice, so I ended up going but sitting out a little bit late. So anyways, normal stuff, gonna be normal now, I should say new now, but we're gonna be focusing on not so much, you know, basic things that go on ahead during the hunt. I'm trying to stay away from that. I'm trying to instead focus on allowing my mind to do what it's gonna do. Let the words come out this time and focus instead on what I can do and focus on what's going on. I'm gonna try to also touch on what I found out yesterday that way. We're talking about oh man, I'm already failing, but my brain's a bit dead. So that's kind of good actually, because we want to make sure we're out of the head here, but at the same time I want to share what I had, because it was kind of cool. You know, I didn't have one of these experiences before, and it was totally worth the nausea. It was totally worth the experience of waking up at 4 a.m. and finishing a 13-hour workday, including lunch. It was 14, but I mean, it's not a big deal. So jumping right in, we're going to be talking about that epiphany first. I'm going to be hunting Tempered Deviljho while I do that, and at the same time we're hoping to again get out of my head and focus on being able to talk, as well as focusing on what I'm doing. That way it's an exercise for me, but at the same time I also get to review and reflect on what happened, and I get a good chance to also practice this game at the same time. And it's also an experience I'm hoping for viewers, where you know you're able to get some entertainment from watching me cart, getting some entertainment, or maybe even learning some new stuff from I know it's a basic weapon, but it's got a lot of concepts behind it that can go really well. So anyways, let's start talking about, now we're jumping into the actual fight. The epiphany I had was actually kind of cool. I haven't been gun running for a while. My trainer had me focus on a deload week after. A deload is like a lower intensity, and the idea was to come back into the program going from kind of, it's a mix of like I guess it's more of a cross training, CrossFit, whatever you want to call it, but the idea is that I'm trying to get some powerlifting as well as focusing on getting in some cardio, so that I can get a best of both worlds. And running is part of that. He's basing a lot of what he's trying to teach from what the military is already doing. So I'm getting powerlifting, and I'm also getting some training on what the military kind of does, but it's kind of a lesser version, because of course I don't have drill sergeants telling me, but he went through firefighting training, so it was pretty good. But anyways, the idea is it's supposed to be running normally, but we were doing a test, ended up doing a new personal record with my own deadlifts and my squats. There's 255 squat and 290 deadlift, which is pretty good considering where I started. I think it was like less than 1 plate, so definitely good. So anyways, I was going on this run, and I noticed it was just crazy, because normally my runs are super fucking slow, and I just fucking hate it when you're just mindlessly running. But I've been running on treadmills for the past few weeks, and treadmills are even more dreading, man. It's just literally just like, come on, really? Like, I'm just staring at myself running. It's more challenging to just close your eyes and run, because you know, you actually have to balance it when you do that. You don't actually run straight all the time. But anyways, I finally got a chance to run on my own pace, as well as on my own pavement. It was at a park this time, so with that in mind, I was able to run going wherever I wanted, and kind of freedom of that was kind of really nice. And it was weird because I didn't expect anyone to be running at 4 a.m., but I mean, I ran into like 2 people, I think, and there were actually cars in the morning, so it's kind of crazy that California's like that, but that's what's going on. So anyways, I was running during the morning, and by about mile 2, I was wondering, you know, what actually the other person's pace was, a lot of stuff, and I was wondering, you know, what exactly, you know, keeps them driving, what keeps and what's their motivation versus mine? Like, how are they able to be up at 4 also? Like, for me, it wasn't even motivation. I was only up because I couldn't sleep. It was like an impulse. And, you know, I was wondering if is it really that people choose to wake up at 4 a.m.? Or is it just that, you know, they wouldn't do anything otherwise? It's like, it's not a choice. What the fuck? It's not even a choice for them, but I guess I was really low HP there. I didn't even see it. But 1 hit, not a big deal. Anyways, it's crazy. I mean, I was just focusing on all the cool things that was going on there. It was mainly just a run. I got to run through the sprinklers, I think. Yeah, it's whatever the yeah, I think it was sprinklers. But it's whatever they had watering the lawn. I'm pretty sure they were just sprinklers, but they're pretty big ones if they were. Kind of like geysers or like mini water hoses, but it was kind of like my experience with the 20X, where we were running through water. We got a chance to experience extra weight with water on you and all that stuff, and that was kind of a good reflection from that. So that was going on, and eventually when I got to a certain part of the run, like I said, I just ran into some people, and again, thinking about their motivation, it was how is their motivation different? And when I did that, it was weird because I got out of my head for like just how I'm doing now, or I'm not even thinking about, you know, what moves do I need to make, what exactly do I need to do next. It was more of just the, you know, how exactly do these things happen. You know, thinking about another person, thinking about myself, it's 2 different things, right? Like if I think about actually like doing something that's like, okay, me, I need to know what I want to do. I need to know what I want to try to do, and what are my motivations and goals, stuff like that. But once you get out of that, you start thinking about more like what are other people doing, and how can I help other people, and changes your perspective. And it was kind of crazy because the second I did that, I was able to just think about like, okay, well, why would they want to do it? I mean, they weren't running that fast, but they were still running. And the fact of the matter is that they did that before, the chances are they were doing it at 4 a.m. every day. So, you know, makes you wonder really what's going on. And eventually, I came to the conclusion that, you know, it's really just that. Again, what I was saying earlier was happened to be that. Oh shit, I'm a tiger. Oh no, I'm not. Forget. He didn't jump. Anyways, it's not so much, I think, that people make the choice to wake up per se, but rather that, or it's not that they don't have to, you know, decide. It's just that they've already made the decision before it's even made to wake up or to sleep in, right? So all these other days I come in late to work, all these days that I decide to not show up, or when I decide to, you know, do whatever, that's like I've decided on a regimen. I've decided on a schedule, right? And these people, they've decided on to do the same thing, or it's something that they've decided to not do, right? And that was another cool thing I noticed was, you know, as the day continued to pass, even though I was like completely like fucking out of it, like I was just tired, I was still going. But a lot of things I noticed is a lot of things that held me back when I was fully awake on other days was because there was things that I was doing unconsciously. Now that I was tired, I noticed that it was things that I'm doing, or that I wasn't doing consciously, that was actually helping me, right? So it's crazy. I mean, and when I figured that out, eventually I came to the conclusion, it was like, you know, yeah, you have the choice all the time to do whatever you want to do, but when it comes down to you have like a pre-program, oh my god, you have like a pre-program that trying to fight all the time, and that pre-program is kind of like your mindset. It's kind of what's going on. And during that run, going back, I know I'm all over the place. It's kind of good and kind of bad, but going back to that run, what I noticed was, you know, when I finally started thinking outside of myself and thinking instead about another person's perspective, I noticed that, you know, it's not that our minds are bad or we stay too long thinking in our minds. It's more that we make enemies of our minds and we end up thinking too much to the point where we end up, instead of trying to do something productive with our mind, we end up in this weird endless feedback cycle where we're just trying to do what we're trying to do, but at the same time we end up fighting that because we're thinking about it. So eventually I came to that weird conclusion, and it's crazy because once I figured that out, the rest of the day was actually super fucking easy. It was just, you know, if I wasn't nauseous at the end of the run, a lot of things that could have done physically would have happened. But I ended up again skipping practice, so it wasn't exactly the best physical day, but it was pretty awesome philosophical day. I mean, you get these chances every day to just, you know, try things out and experience new things like that. It's crazy when the unknown just happens to you and for you. In that case, it did straight up happen for me. Today it was kind of the reverb of that, where because I guess I was in such a big zone yesterday, and now today feels like kind of like a hangover, or like kind of where we're in that weird zone where you've been in such a strange high for so long that when you come back down, it feels like shit. But now that I'm I guess experiencing this right now, it's easier for me to unwind and just kind of process it. But the idea though was that, you know, all this crazy unknown stuff that happened that day was pretty cool. I mean, it's not something I get to experience every time, and something that I think that a lot of people don't get also. It's because we fall into these routines, we fall into these pre-programs again, we lose to our own minds. And that was, I think, the crazy thing, is I figured out finally you don't have to, right? I mean, it's like, it's a choice. We actually are allowing ourselves to just not change anything up every day, and this is in turn screwing us over. I mean, it's not something that we can necessarily consciously change, but, you know, if somebody sees it in themselves, eventually they're going to fix it, which is good. That's what you want, but it's going to take some time, and when I saw shit, nothing I could have done there. I might die here, but yeah, it's not it's not there we go, back in. It's not something that we can't fix. I mean, it's something that we are able to see that we have power over once we figure out. But until we figure out that we're conscious of it, it's not gonna actually change. But anyways, that was one epiphany. It was more so just getting out of my head, and I think that talk, just, you know, realizing that the night before was just crazy, because it was similar to that. It was like I almost created that experience by just talking about it in that prologue first stream that I had, and then that day just happened. You know? So even though I feel dead as fuck right now, you know, doing this, I don't know. I feel like I have that foresight, like, you know, how when you have like a meal, you can almost taste the meal before you even have the meal. This kind of feels like that right now. It feels good actually to be able to just unwind and share these ideas and just I guess know that something is going to happen in response to this, and that I guess is what's giving me, even though I'm rambling, but it's giving me the words to do this. It's crazy, you know, like the fighting thing. And maybe it's just that resistance, you know, that resistance that we fight every day. That resistance that we create, not by, you know, by trying to resist ourselves, but instead, you know, trying to do something else. We focus so much on ourselves that we just create that resistance on our own. But anyways, that was a cool epiphany. We're gonna talk about the next one right after this hunt. Now that I got this one, let's see what time was that. That's actually a lot better, actually. I think the one I did on the first episode was 15. That was when I was forcing myself to figure out what I want to do, and that's again what's really awesome. I mean, like right now I'm just talking, right? And like I can, versus last time I was trying to not try to do something. Right? It's something happening on the unconscious level where you're fighting yourself, even though you don't want to. I mean, you're just fucking doing it, right? Like, all right, what do we get drop wise? Ooh, nice. 2 gems, don't really mind. Tall things. That's the shit I'm looking for right there. Nice, nice. Sweet. All right, what do we get? A shaft. Okay. I mean, that's the 6th one. Whatever. It's free. I mean, I can't complain. It's a fucking event quest. But anyways, moving on. So after that one, it was a pretty cool epiphany actually. After I got all through that nausea, and I experienced the 13-hour day, and while I was on, let's see, so I think I stopped streaming around like 11, and then I uploaded the video around 12. Woke up at 4 because I just could not sleep. Like my head was just, my mind and my head were just at it all night. I don't know. Maybe they were doing the whole thing where some people believe that you're actually just experiencing, you know, what's already been created, that type of thing. But even though there's really only now that type of idea. But anyways, the cool thing was that when I got through all that, I was in like a complete different perspective. Even though I wanted to go to practice, you know, it was clearly that I didn't because I was nauseous. But I chose to sit out. I chose to be an observer, and I wasn't there for the whole time. But the observations I was able to make in comparison to what I do when I'm actually participating was completely different. Because when you're participating, you're only focusing again on yourself, and it's crazy. It's crazy from seeing it in a different perspective. You know, the things when you try to look out for people, and when you can see that there's things that are challenging for them, and you want to help them out. That's really awesome when you're able to see these things pop up. So for example, one of the things was normally, you know, I'm trying to focus on, am I executing correctly? Is what I'm doing enough to make the strike to the point where they can receive it, and is it good enough for the rest of the technique to continue, right? That's generally how it works. Or when you're sparring, you're focusing on, alright, I don't want to be outperformed. I don't want to be worse than I was last time. It's all about me. But eventually, you know, like I mentioned earlier, you end up with this weird I guess resistance that you create for yourself. And this time, since I was tired and I was nauseous and I was the observer and I was at a different perspective, there's a different feeling that it had to it. As weird as that sounds, it's more of a, it was more of a, I guess, like you know, if somebody just, I guess, sat in the front in a classroom all the time, and then they decided to go to the back. It was, or vice versa, right? It's a completely different perspective of what the teacher is gonna show you, right? I mean, like, you may only see a few things when you're back up, and you may only see a few things when you scoot in. So in this case, it definitely was a backup, and that's what I think is really cool, is I was able to see all these things, not just trying to be up close. It was definitely something that I had to back up and see. There was no other way. When I did back up and see it, for me to understand that there is things that I was looking at for other people, trying to actually see, what are they executing? What are their intentions? How is their posture? How are they actually feeling about messing up? What do they think about their distance? What are they thinking about their positioning? What are they thinking about their timing? Right, all that different stuff. You don't see it when you're participating, but when you're an observer, it's completely different. And while I do agree it's great to do both at once, I feel like you can't, right? I mean, like, you're gonna prioritize one over the other. You can do both, but I mean, doing that on its own is just gonna create its own type of experience. And just pure observation from what it was last time with a different mindset, I think is awesome, right? And that's something I want to reinforce for myself. It's not something I get to do all the time. And what ended up happening was I was seeing things that I thought, what I saw, I rather should say, made sense normally. I mean, because normally when you just watch things, right, you just say, oh, this is what's happening, right? You don't really, whatever, fuck. You don't really think about what's going on, right? You don't process it, unless you're actually trying to look for something. But this time, instead of looking for something, I guess, physical, I was looking for something more mental, or spiritual, some people would even say. And again, what I notice is kind of similar to how that running thing happened, where I was kind of thinking about, well, during my 3-mile run, I was thinking about, what keeps people continuing their routine of waking up at 4 a.m. How are they doing it? Like, what decisions they're making? It was the same thing, I think, that in this case, where what is keeping these students from changing up what they did previously? What are they doing differently to improve? What are they focusing on? What are they doing? That's all conceptual stuff. And on top of that, in a martial art, it's a way to express yourself too. So you're able to see, okay, so how are they choosing to express themselves also? How are they deciding to actually execute what they're executing? Because we were in a seminar this weekend. That's partially probably why I'm exhausted, because I did powerlifting on the weekend as well as the seminars, and then I did long hours as usual. So chances are it was just all that added up to this nausea and to this exhaustion. But it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm gonna get over it. But it's actually really nice because it puts me in a different perspective. Like I mentioned before, it forces me to think in a different perspective. So that's what I think is really cool. Is I finally got to see, what the fuck? I guess he ripped the ground. I finally got to see, thinking about someone else's perspective and kind of putting them in their shoes or putting yourself in their shoes versus just theoretically saying that, because it's completely different, right? I mean, like, I can say, hey, think about how that person thinks, do what you're doing, versus actually doing it, and I didn't have to try, it just happened. And what was really awesome was once that happened, that epiphany on all of the cases of this, this being not about me and not and more so about them. It was crazy, because what changes is you ultimately. I mean, it's even though you're not trying to focus on you, it ends up changing you when you take an introspective outside of yourself. But it's weird, because you're taking yourself out of yourself, but at the same time you're ending up like in order to, I guess, view what you and understand what you're feeling, you do have to have a sense of yourself, because it's not like you're just, you know, out of the scene. You're still yourself. You're still the person viewing the scene, right? So in that case, as I was viewing the scene, that would mean that I would also have to be able to have an understanding of, hey, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? What am I doing, right? And all these things applied to the questions that I had to these people, right? So it was awesome. Like, these were all things that I was thinking about myself. At the same time, those things that I was seeing in them. So, because I was focusing on the questions towards them. So, but eventually, like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's crazy where you can finally see and understand it's a choice, and it's a choice that we unconsciously make. That is ultimately what happens, I guess. So again, going back to the 4 a.m. Routine, it's a routine because it's a decision to be a routine. And then again, why do people execute the techniques the way they execute them? It's because it's a routine, or I mean, it's a decision for them to continue to do it that way. It's a decision for them to either improve and change up what they're doing, or it's a decision to consciously see, again, outside of, in my case, myself, right? It was a decision that I had to make in a certain way, but even though it wasn't necessarily made by my conscious choice, it was still a decision, right? And the same thing for them. It was still a decision for them to execute. And in some cases, some people would say, some people will call, you know, a fighter or a warrior. Some people would say that people are not naturally fighters. Some people are not naturally warriors. Or rather, some people are naturally warriors and fighters and stuff like that. You know, that distinction. But I think it's more of a choice, right? Like, someone may have the physical talent. Someone may have the drive and right genetics, but what really matters at the end of the day is that you decide to use that, right? I mean, if you didn't, then it wouldn't really matter. And at the same time, you can tell when someone is executing, they are really actually trying to express that they are doing this, because the body and the way we communicate is actually a lot of how we talk to each other. So even though on the phone it's awesome that we can, you know, hear each other's voices, we can hear each other's tones, we know that the words that we're saying have meaning, but it's if you compare a text message to a phone call, you can see that it's actually a shit ton different, right? I mean, like, you can be sarcastic, but you run the risk of, does the other person actually see that it's sarcasm, right? I mean, that's what ends up in YouTube comment wars, why people end up blaming each other in forums, why people try to actually, you know, explain themselves and they don't need to, even though some people already understand the jokes. It's because they aren't sure, right? I mean, we don't have that luxury that we have when you can actually observe another human being. So in this case, it's the same thing. When someone is trying to express themselves by movement, it's completely possible to see that movement because it's a decision, right? I mean, and ultimately, rather, I shouldn't say it's all decision, but more so, you know, we're able to express that decision because of how the mechanics of how our bodies work. It's easier to understand. So, for example, if I just told you, what's going on in like a baseball game or like a football game, you know, it'd be completely different from actually seeing the scene. You would actually see, you know, a bird's eye view, or you would see oh fuck, that's kind of bad. You would end up seeing you'd end up seeing more of the actual what people are putting into, not just what's happening. You would see what people are putting into it, right? Like, you only hear the highlights, and again, that's from what people are seeing. So you're already seeing like a kind of a telephone game where someone's explaining their perspective, and then they're explaining their perspective to you, and then you're only hearing a split part of that. So it's like a huge funnel ultimately. But anyways, that's those are my two cool epiphanies. they kind of went off the same thing. So what I want to do now, I'm gonna do one more hunt just because I want to keep this up. And this is actually strange to me that I have these weird feelings, but and that's knowing that by doing something, it's a way for me to get better, not just, you know, to just do it to do it. I mean, I'm doing it because there's something in it for me, just how things work. Right, like you spend time at a job because you know that you're gonna get paid. Kind of feels like that right now when I'm talking. It feels like even though I'm talking, even though I'm doing all this stuff, and I may be messing up, I may not be explaining too well, I may be making a lot of these uhs, ands, and ums, and you knows, and type of things. But at the end of the day, it's a way for me to get better at that, and that's something that I feel like is just really nice. So besides that, I want to talk about my actions for what I'm gonna do and what I've committed to. It's kind of strange because I mean I do spend a lot of my time at work when I have free time to look up ways to improve myself. Like there's a lot of philosophical stuff I'll watch on YouTube, and understanding newer things, but at the same time I notice I don't have the same type of drive when it comes to my job, right? Because that's something I'm forced to do versus something I'm doing on my own free will. It's kind of like that right now, where I'm doing something for the better of myself and whoever I work with. At the same time, I'm hoping I'm giving some value to whoever's seeing this. I'm not quite sure if that's going to be the case, but you know, it's something I'm going to really strive for. So anyways, my path forwards, what I think I'm going to do now is understanding this voice that puts and separates. What I mean by that is it's that voice that from the 0th episode that I was talking from last time. It's a voice that tells you, you're not enough, even though this whole time you are enough. You know, it's something we all have. I don't think I've met anyone who's had this. Some people would say it's insecurity. Some people would say it's just your conscious. And it's crazy because I think one of our professors said that a lot of your behavior, and what's going on in your head is actually a combination of what your parents or even, you know, the people you hang around are talking and telling you about, right? Like if somebody tells you that you're not enough, you may eventually take on that voice, or if someone, you know, you listen to a lot of public speakers that are uplifting, you know, right after you may have I guess there was a toad there. You may have the drive immediately after a public speaker does this like awesome fucking thing because they've planted a seed kind of idea into your head, right? And it's not your normal headspace that has that voice, right? So it's that kind of idea where I kind of want to create that headspace myself. And I feel like doing something like this, I can see what's going on in my head a lot better, and it becomes a lot more stable. And I think that's awesome that I'm able to see these things with just a change in perspective. So I'm gonna do these type of things, these streams, you know, for myself, but it's also, you know, sharing out some gameplay, sharing out some thoughts. It'd be awesome to have a discussion too. Just we can chat. I've seen plenty of actual Monster Hunter players like Cancer for me that just are able to chat while they hunt, and not just like chatting through a mic. I mean like actually chatting on the keyboard, which is crazy. It's like, how are they able to actually do that? And I think he explained that it was like it was because the wind-up animations that happen during every weapon is is long enough for you to get that for example right now, like it's super easy for me to type, it's super easy for me to talk because there's this there's this dubstep thing going on where the Deviljho has lower gamma, and I had that chance to sharp, and nothing else is gonna happen, right? So I know that for a fact I have that freedom. So that's probably what's going on with them. But anyways, yeah. So the idea there was shit. I might die here. No, we're good. Okay, he's not looking. Shit, dumb bombs right now. He's probably gonna scream, and I'm stunned. Probably gonna die. Oh no, we're good. Please. Alright, we're good. So, anyways, no, we're not good. That's the concept. Now to do this, two nights ago, I was kind of doing kind of like a shoutcaster thing, and that's, I think, really helpful when I have the energy, but right now I don't. And so instead of trying to squeeze it out, I'm going to try to just let it out, right? And it's actually weird because that's more of an uplifting way of doing things. For example, I was doing a sled push earlier today during my workout, and you know, when you focus on the number, you're gonna tire yourself out. When you focus on doing 1 rep at a time, and instead of focusing on the big number, and you focus on, you know, just counting 1 rep until you hit a certain point, that's actually a lot easier. You're doing less stress onto your brain, doing less stress on your mind, and in turn that makes it easier for you to focus on what's in front of you. Like right now, for example, if I focus on squeezing words out, I'm gonna control my character a lot worse. If I focus on you know, thinking about optimal positioning, thinking about optimal timing, I'm not gonna be able to execute that time. I'm not gonna even see the positioning I'm in because I'm so focused on the fact that I'm not in the right position, right? But instead, if I just do it, and that's what I think I realized at that moment, and that night was just the times when I finally decided to do that shoutcast thing. It was crazy because that's when I finally got out of my head, right? I stopped fucking caring, right? It was more so, hey, let's fucking kill this guy, right? Like, let's get this hunt over with. Like, forget about the optimal stuff, right? Forget about that there's a monster, just a small monster right now fucking me right now, right? It's just, instead, I'm trying to focus on how can I just play my game, and how can I continue to play my game, right? Like, that's more important, I feel, than trying to focus on. I guess he was enraged. Yeah, I was enraged. Yeah, he is. What the? How? Alright, I'm still alive though. But yeah, so that's the idea. I'm gonna try to just get myself in that state by forcing it this time, and it's gonna be sort of an experiment. Because to be in that state, you know, it's kind of idea of trying to be present, and the idea behind that is you don't want to focus on your thoughts. You want to focus on even what's going to happen. You want to focus on what's happening right now, and that means that thoughts shouldn't be dedicated to put yourself into the future or to avoid the past. It should just be, what am I doing right now? What can I do to, or rather, what the fuck just happened? Oh, I got hit by Kesselon. What can I do? What do I see in front of me? What is happening? What am I seeing? You're able to see that. Focus a lot of the past moments and what's going to happen next when you think about that, right? But if I instead focus on what can I do right now, and what do I see, or even if I don't even have any thoughts, right? Like, that's, I think, what meditation does for you, is it makes it so you don't have to you don't have to filter what's going on in your mind. You don't have to filter and think, hey, is that a bad thought? Is that a good thought? You just have thoughts, right? And you just allow the thoughts to come in. And I feel like when that happens, that's when you and your mind are able to finally just adjust, truly adjust. Oh, I get it out here. I fucking do it. That one attack, man. Like, I have guard up, but I don't want to waste. I mean, I can. I guess I can. I should see it. I mean, that's something I should see. But so right now, for example, I'm not in the present just because I'm focusing on. Like, that was a shitter situation right there. I should not have been in that situation, but I put myself in that situation, right? Like, that's all me. And that's stuff that we want to try to avoid. Is getting absorbed into. Oh shit, looks like, okay, it's not too bad. Actually, I'll take that. I can eat. But anyways, the idea was that I benefit more, right? And I'm gonna benefit more when I don't have to think, right? Because if my mind is working with me and it's not my enemy, then it's an ally, right? I mean, so I mean, why would I want to work against my mind to begin with? So it's that type of idea right now is I don't want to put myself in that situation, and as I continue to talk, I just let the words come out. It's different from, you know, trying to force words out, because when you're in that situation, that's when you're working against your mind. You're trying. It's like a boss trying to micromanage you, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, you can tell when people are impromptu public speakers when they have it all planned out, because they're methodical when they have it all planned out. And while methodology is good, what happens if, you know, somebody just throws a fucking tomato at you? What happens if you know, you decide to not pause at a certain point, right? Like, that just shits on your whole plan. Versus, you know, if I just decided and said to just do what I'm doing, I mean, then now it's got nothing to do with did I fuck up, did I do right. Now it's just, do I, you know, and what am I talking right now, or am I focusing too much on trying to talk, right? Like, that's all happening for you instead of against you. And to reach that state, I think it's gonna take some practice, just like right now. So, well, I know this isn't the most entertaining in comparison to last time. I think it's still practice. It's great. It's great that I'm able, and I'm really appreciative to the fact that I'm able to experience something like this. That I'm able to just create something like this. Like, you know, the human experience of being able to just let go sometimes, or not even be able to perform, lets you go in certain perspectives. For example, today, you know, it's like, the only way I could have gotten through my day, as far as duties go, is I had to have someone help me. Right? Like, I'm not gonna be able to do this alone. Like, I'm not gonna be able to, in my case, go through a government contractor's code and know exactly where I need to look, know exactly what I'm trying to do, all that stuff. Someone else is gonna do a much better job at that, because they already have that knowledge. But in my case, you know, it's a collaborative effort, one, and two, it's just letting that happen, right? Like, cause I feel like I came from a weird place, because when I was growing up, I didn't trust anyone. I made more enemies than I made friends. My friend base was tiny. People that I had as friends, you know, I trusted them a lot, but I didn't even trust them that much. Like, I was that kid that, you know, I'd be open to trying someone else's thing. Like, for example, like, someone gives you a game, right? You know, they're like, yeah, you try out this cool game, and then you end up come on, man. Yeah, anyways, you try out this game, right? And then they're like, yeah, what'd you think? You know, it's pretty cool, right? And you end up liking it, you end up joining them, you end up playing with them. They get a cool kick out of it, that you're playing with them. But at the same time, I was that same dick kid that was like, Yeah, shit, don't fucking take my stuff. I mean, don't take my food. Don't take away my notes. Like, what are you doing with my shit? I was all just focused on myself, and with that mistrust, I feel like it's gotten into professional life. It's gotten into a lot of things where, I mean, like, I'm a fucking low viewer streamer that does shit like this. So it's stuff where I'm doing shit like this literally to fix what happened in the past, which really shouldn't even be fixed, right? So it's shit like that I feel that, you know, I can share. But at the same time, I know that it's stuff that I'm trying to get out of my head. I'm trying to make it better. Because in the end of the day, right, it's kind of fucking pointless for me to try to share something and not share any value with the world. And that's what I feel is kind of disappointing about a job. You know, it's you're doing it for the money, right? I mean, the intention is kind of there because, you know, money means that you should be given a transaction. You know, you're giving something to someone else, and they're paying you in return, right? But a lot of times I feel like my job is just the complete opposite of that, right? Like I'm doing shit, but it's like I don't feel like I'm contributing. You know, like that one kid in like a group project where you're like, oh, I wish this kid would just contribute. Like that's what it kind of feels like, where I feel like I'm now in that shoe. Not necessarily just because I'm underperforming or because it's a dumb task. It's just mainly like I feel like the task itself is just not really contributing anything. So that's something I want to get out of, because getting out of that mindset, I feel like how I had yesterday, where I'm finally experiencing newer things, is showing me that come on, man, sweet dude. Is showing me that it's okay to be in a different perspective, because that different perspective is actually going to open up new doors. It's going to allow me to see newer things, you know. I mean, I've had plenty of interviews with different companies, but at the same time, I've also failed these same interviews. The only offers I've gotten are the offers that I've taken. So, in a sense, that shows scarcity. What the fuck? How did that one shot me? That shows scarcity, though. I mean, just like how these are going. I guess I have time for one more. So, this time I'm gonna do the exact same thing I've been doing. Actually, let's just keep that up. This is again more of a ramble. So this ends up being a YouTube view. I don't want to apologize, but I mean this is just what's gonna be. 47 minutes of me talking so far is what it's been. So I guess I'm just gonna stick with that. So anyways, to share more, I guess, I know people come to these videos for more entertainment and stuff, but in this current feeling that I'm in, I still feel like I can share more. Oh, let's switch it up, actually, make things interesting. Alright, now I have a little bit more of being uncomfortable, because this time I can actually fucking die super easy, versus just, you know, lengthening out and talking. But anyways, what's going on is that I want to be able to, I guess is the best way to say it, by doing something like this, I want to be able to provide value, right? Like when I'm spending my time, I want to get something out of it. I want to make sure that the people I'm participating with are getting something out of it. So I know right now, if you're a viewer and you're like, oh god, I can't believe this fucking guy's still talking, I muted him like fucking 47 minutes ago, like stuff where it's like, you know, what he's saying is just fucking useless, stuff like that. And again, this is stuff that's going on in my head. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure if that's the case. Maybe you actually got something good out of this. Maybe just how like I find YouTube videos for myself where things actually end up helping me. Maybe that is the case. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I know it's very few that this would probably be able to help, because I'm not someone in the world, at least right now, that's really reaching out and, God, my positioning is awful right now. Reaching out and able to provide super high value, right? And that's just the way my job is going. That's the way I've decided to be. Again, going back to that whole idea where we decide who we are at the end of the day. Even though we may unconsciously do it, we're making that decision. And I feel like my decision that I'm making for myself is not the best. I guess what is the best way? It's not high value enough for people, I feel, would necessarily even give that transaction that I'm talking about. Where I'm actually providing more value than I'm getting, right? So I might still be in the same state where it's what is the best way to put it? Where right now I'm actually taking more than I am giving, type of thing. Even though I am providing, you can look at the whole half, glass half full, glass empty type thing. And I feel like in this case I'm just being pessimistic, but at the same time, it could be true. I mean, that's to me it's at the end of the day. So instead of just focusing on what can I give, it ends up being, just how do you describe it? It doesn't end up being can I give though. I mean, it's because I would be if I was actually asking that question, I'm pretty sure that I would be giving more. But at the same time, I can also see by the words that I'm saying right now, it's also got to do with gratitude. Maybe I don't appreciate what other people are doing for me, and maybe that's the case why this is happening. Because again, like I said, I was a shitty kid. Like, there's just no hiding that. Even though some people thought I was ahead of my time as far as maturity goes, that was off of the whole thing of being taught by a conservative parent. Old school stuff, right? Like, the whole thing that really spawned this 9-to-5 thing and keeping up with the Jones type of thing, those old concepts that were, and politeness and stuff like that. I mean, it's nice to teach your kids, but I mean, it doesn't help them get through life. It just makes them look like they're getting through life, and I definitely feel like that was something that happened to me, and what I decided to stick with. I mean, I can't blame anyone else. I was the one who went through with it, right? I mean, like, it's not my parents' fault. Definitely not the people that I was around, their fault. I mean, yeah, they could have told me, hey, dude, this isn't really working. Instead, they told me, you're a pretty sharp kid, going to college is fine, I'm doing it for, 4-year university, all that shit. But, I mean, am I at where I want to be right now? No, definitely not. I mean, I definitely want to be able to give, now that it's, especially after yesterday, more to this society, because it just feels so stupid that, I'm limited on what I'm able to do. And what I mean by that is I'm putting these limitations on myself, as well as the jobs that I've taken, the offers that I've taken, the positions I've put myself in. Like, I can't blame anyone, right? It's all on me. And that's not to say that I'm discrediting the people that are below me, or discrediting the people that are struggling, right? Because I know how hard it is to get a job. I know how hard it is to, especially since I have, I'm a software engineer. I know that I was lucky because I picked a major where we have a scarcity in right now. But at the same time, it's like, does that really matter? Like, am I really contributing anything? Or am I just saying that I'm not contributing? I'm just being paid at the end of the day, right? Like, survival's nice. Like, it's fucking awesome that I get to experience all this shit, but at the same time, wouldn't it be awesome if all of us, all of us, didn't have to worry about that shit? Like, I don't want to get into some socialist shit or even bring politics into this, but I mean more so like, say we all had high value, and we were able to give that high value to everyone else in the world. and we were able to share that. And eventually, of course, you know, just the way the economy works, you know, when you spend money, eventually it's going to come back, because the things around you survive because you spend, and you survive because the things around you spend, right? So, I mean, like, if no one went to the gym wouldn't exist, right? They're not just gonna fucking hold a place up. They're gonna go to a place where they have people, they have customers. But at the same time, you know, you're not gonna, unless you seriously are able to motivate yourself. And that's the cool thing about a gym, is it's a place for you to work out. And for some people, that's all they need, is to make that commitment to work out. Now, I'm not saying the gym necessarily is necessary to acquire that true strength, or to acquire that that shape that some people want. But at the same time, you know, it's an edge, right? Like, you can't argue that the gym provides more than you any time could, as far as equipment, society, like a society of people, I guess, who are willing to contribute and give free information, like, about fitness. And I don't mean that necessarily you're gonna get like a fucking encyclopedia of free like health information, but I mean, like, you could ask like a trainer, you can ask like anyone who's there, like, hey dude, how are you doing this? And they'll appreciate that you're asking it, because for them, you know, that's validation that they get, that, you know, that they can see that you recognize that they have information that you don't. And for them, that makes them special, because that's a way for them to realize, hey, like, I'm actually giving something away. You know, I'm giving value. Again, like, what I'm trying to talk about right now is just, how can I provide more value? How can I become higher value? And that comes down to myself making these decisions. Oh my god, can't do anything right now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to clear this actually. What's the time on this? I didn't deal that much damage. We'll just lance the rest of this actually, because I do want to talk, but at the same time, I mean, I don't want to waste my own time here. As far as drops, I mean, I am able to allow these thoughts to flow out, which is good. In a way, it's like free meditation for me, but at the same time, I'd like to be able to provide not shit gameplay also. So let's try to get something. I don't know, for my timing with Tempered Deviljho, it's I'm taking such a big risk with half of my attacks that I end up like one-shot carding, whereas with the lance, at least I get a chance to show some positioning, and I get a chance to avoid most of the attacks with the shield. And I haven't really found an answer to his fucking mounting attack, but I mean, it's mainly my bad positioning that's fucking up. But anyways, besides the conceptual bullshit that I was talking about, yeah, it's I think for me, if I could just provide some value in my own way, I think that'd be fucking awesome. That's really what I'm looking for, and by just talking about it, I think it helps. Right? Like when you talk with a friend, you know, they're able to give advice, but at the same time, it makes you think about even the possibility that it exists. And right now, I can't say that I have that possibility, but I mean, it's not like I don't have that possibility either. So it's great, I think, that just, you know, venting and talking. I guess the whole reason some couples like to talk on the phone and stuff like that, you know, it's a way for them to think, way for them to vent. Maybe I ended up more, I guess the term is feminine, or whatever the fucking gene is for taking on female traits of using my right brain and wanting to vent this out. But at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna argue that it's forcing me to become better, and I can't say that trying to become better is bad. definitely puts me in a different mindset, which is good. That's what I want. Definitely want to be in a better mindset than what I am. I did before, right? You don't want to be stuck in the same mindset for the rest of your life, otherwise you're literally going to be in insanity. Okay, good. We actually found out to go on this side. I'm missing all this. But once I figure all this shit out, if I'm ever able to provide better value, definitely want feedback from you know, just being able to watch myself too is another nice thing. So that's actually one really nice thing I really like about Monster Hunter World is you don't need a capture card. You can just straight up fucking film it from OBS. That wasn't something you could do in the previous Monster Hunter games. You'd need a capture card. And even when you had that capture card, you still need a dedicated machine to stream from and all that shit. So, anyways, so yeah, so let's just focus on, I guess, the fight now. Let's just back it up. Okay, here we go. Use this chance. There we go. Knocked him out of rage. And just like last time, we're gonna do what we did. Just deal him massive amounts of damage. Focus on hitting him. And you know, if I can get some shoutcasting in too, that'd be awesome. I'm about to state him in right now. That's another thing is I want to be able to own that. It's crazy. If you've seen certain public speakers that are able to speak from certain things. I mean, a lot of it is conceptual, but at the same time, you have to remember again that we do, as humans, communicate a shit ton through body language. So even when I'm in that shitty state how I am now, you know, I don't even have an excuse really to not be able to communicate how I want to. Right? Like, it really should be second nature. Oh my god. Am I dead? Might be. Can't take a block right now, actually. Yep. Alright, well. I guess I'll give it one more shot. This time a full hunt. And if we fail, we fail, whatever. This time, instead of focusing on conceptual ideas, I'm literally just going to spit out whatever the fuck I see and make observations. Instead of trying to talk about it, we're gonna try to actually visualize using my own words and see how that goes. So far, I would say that when I wasn't deep in my head in the beginning, when I was literally just talking, I was focusing more on the hunt, which is okay. That's the reason I was able to do it. So I still want to get the exercise in. I know it's been an hour. Holy shit! Last time I only did 40 minutes, I think. But either way, the idea here this time is we're gonna go back to the vanilla ways that I've been doing it to pass it recently, which is just straight up fucking mentioning literally everything I'm seeing. How's my quality right now, anyways? Like, let's see. Let's look at. Actually, it's going well. Let's see. Normally, I see like a bunch of fucking boxes when I scroll and shit. Okay, anyways, let's get right into this. Alright, we're back on the screen. Okay. Alright, so I'm trying to get out of my head, just like last time, except this time we're gonna change it up. We're not gonna focus on the concepts. We're gonna focus on literally just stabbing this motherfucker, and that's gonna get me into the right mindset here. Alright, so we're lucky Dodogama is not fighting, which means Dodogama will not be a weapon. So let's continue down this rabbit hole. And I'm going to pop that protective polish right about now. Okay, So now that I'm out of that weird fucking philosophical mindset, as long as I'm able to do that, I think once I'm able to actually get in that mindset like I am now, and fight the same way I was when I was in the shoutcasting type of mindset, I think that'll put me in a better position for this game at least. Please don't leave. I missed all of those. He's literally standing still. Okay, this was already a bad run. That's okay. Oh, yep. Okay. Alright, we're in a bad spot here. Let's just block it. Move it back up. Okay, that's why I can't leave the ledge. I see. Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna play it. Alright, we're not gonna play it. He's gonna hit me. Alright, we need to leave because we're getting fucked. Jump off the ledge. Alright. So, I'm literally stifling myself, which is a problem. Don't be in a state. And we missed our dodge and block. Not a problem. We're just gonna keep going. Gonna hit this motherfucker at some point, right? That's all that matters. Okay. These guys have followed me down the ledge, so I now have 3 enemies. Don't want my mind being, you know. Alright, I'll take it, because they knocked me out of tremor state. And we're gonna keep stabbing this motherfucker, 1 stab at a time, stabbing him while he's doing this repositioning because he's moving forwards. And turn it around. Loop to loop, maneuver. Did that. Here we go. Knocking right. Okay. Oh, we got him. Alright. Lucky me. You saw that I actually ended up countering the fucking Kestodon, which kind of screwed my animation over, but at the same time I was able to get that hit off right when Deviljho stabbed my fucking lance. I mean, stabbed me. Okay, this is bad. Lucky me, he missed. Okay, so we're continuing on. Alright, so he's not in rage, which means as long as I don't mistime anything right now, my position can be garbage. And we're gonna just fix that. Noticing he's on the wall, so yeah, that power guard was good. Just gonna keep stabbing him. He's gonna use his recoil move and reposition that in. It's looking like a good run, actually. Really nice run. Okay, he looks tired, so we're gonna work our way up to the mouth. I see that he's using an attack. Doesn't matter. Stab him back. Alright. So now he's back into sort of a neutral state. Stabbing what he's got. Repositioning. And sweet. Nice. Oh, this is bad. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, lucky me. Okay. I guess positioning wise, I don't want to be directly on my feet. Just because that seems to work. So I'm going to be slightly off this time. I think it's just that. Okay, let's see. Well, what if I'm in the center? That seems to be okay also. Alright. Stop talking, so the exercise is failing at the moment, but I am getting a good hunt. So we keep stabbing this guy. Free hits right there. More free hits. Keep stabbing the leg, hoping for a trip. At some point, okay, he's actually somewhat tired, so we're gonna go for a mouth. It's kind of crazy though. I mean, like, if I compared this guy to when I was playing Charge Blade, he's being completely more passive. I don't know what the fuck is up with that. That just means my Charge Blade is not aggressive enough. I learned that when I fought Nargigante the first time. I played too reactive. Whereas with Lance, I know I have the confidence to literally just shit on a monster because the openings are fucking like. If you use the Lance on a big opening monster, you don't have an excuse, I feel, to mistime blocks unless like you literally just like misinputted. It's like right there, I see that he's attacking easy. All I have to do is fucking block. He's gonna fucking switch to rage. Now I'm gonna fucking counter that rage. Same thing with this. You see an attack coming, move it. Right? You don't fucking stand there. Block this because I see it. Right, same thing. Block this. Swing back. Should be knocked out. Or no, it's not. Okay, not a problem. Alright, what are we doing? Block that. Same thing. Fucking fence up. Repositioning. He's back. I want to be in good spacing. There we go. Knocked him out. We're going to use this chance to reposition, except I held R too long. Not a problem. Okay, we're repositioned. That's okay. Focusing on positioning right now. He's moving in. I'm going to move in as well. It's a triple bite. That's a chance. He's probably going to attack right now, so I want... Okay, he's going to do this. We're going to sweep backwards. See if we can force him into that negative range. Okay, he backed up again. That means I'm in range for this. He's using a hip check to reverse it because we know the hip check is going to leave me here. And that's going to put me into this counter state. Use this. And sweep his leg. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to knock him out. There we go. Back in the mix. Easy motherfucking fight. Alright. Cool. Stab in the neck. I wish I could get that weak spot right now, but it's kind of damage, so we'll just see if we can do this right here. Seem to be hitting it just fine, so... okay. I was going to drop a Finny boost, but this is kind of a bad spot. Alright, nice block. Okay, I'm in a weird spot. He's not going to go anywhere. Okay, this is actually okay. Guard that normally, and then I don't want to be bad positioning, so I'm going to walk through him. He's going to have to turn now. Yep. Max potion back up. He's going to come to me. Now, I'm hoping he's not going to use his leap attack, so we're going to block that as normal. Fucking stab him. Easy. Okay, looks like he's got something on. Nope, I just mistimed that. So that's like something that should never happen. Okay, there's power guard. That's probably not supposed to power guard. We're going to eat this fucking potion, and he's going to chase us. It's alright. Okay. Oh, he's tired. So I'm going to use this chance to stab him in the fucking mouth. I'm out of range because my positioning there was one step off. It's okay. Use this to dip forwards and sweep in. Oh, this is bad. Yep, it's fucking bad. Okay, at least he's tired, so that's not going to be as much damage. I still need to do this, because I don't want to fucking risk anything. And then we're going to drop the, while he's still blind, we're going to whetstone up. Unless he rocks, I highly doubt it. And then we're going to use his Fade Booster. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back in the mix, dealing a shit ton more damage than we were before now. He's gonna be angry, that's good, we want to be angry. And it looks like he dropped another red crystal, so we're gonna just force him into his own fucking demise here. Stab him back in, there we go, he's gonna fuck himself right now. Look at that, holy shit, it's like fucking Christmas. Alright, stab him out of that. And I'm guessing after this 10-hit combo, I should be, what's it called? Should be about 50-ish%. Or, sorry, 30%. So I should be almost dead soon. Okay, I need to dash this way. Nice, nice. I'll take the tremor. I'm not being fucking eaten. So he's dubstepping. That's good. Good news. Let him do that. Okay, what's he doing? Dash out of that shit. What the fuck? I guess I was in the tail. That's some bullshit. Alright, no problem. Moving on. No piranhas here. Don't want to let a bad thought stop your flow. Don't want to let it stop your flow. Just let it go. Hip check. Saw that coming. Here he comes. Hip check again. Okay, we didn't walk that way. That's okay. Now in this instance, I should use a fucking potion. I'm gonna rock, roll that. Alright, here we go. Now the question is, what's he gonna do? Roll again. Okay, I'm going too reactive. That's okay. We're gonna use this evasion meds, and we're gonna die. Bad positioning. Not a problem. Alright. Okay, I can eat again, so we're going to eat again. See how much HP that gives me. 0. Not a problem. Get my attack up still. And I'm going to restock on max potions. He should be almost dead. Dodogama's with him, though. Okay. Restock. And we're back in. Alright. again, try to focus on letting the flow out, narrating what I'm saying, forgetting about what, you know, any of it mattering at all, of course, and just having fun. Really, that's should be focused on anyways. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see, Demon Powder's gone. I'm gonna use Might Seed's done already, so I need to use Demon Drug. There we go. It's a problem when I forget what buffs I'm using. I mean, I am tired, but still. Okay. Asian Mantle's on. Oh, Dodogama did not actually stick with him. Okay. That's good. What's he doing? Hit by the tail, not a problem. Block that. And I really need... There we go. I really need to get some healing enchants on this thing. So I'm just needing so much fucking hit or chip damage. There we go, knock him out. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he should be cap ready soon. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just all these fucking attacks, that's okay. That's what I get for mashing too. Okay, nice. Give me that now. Alright, he's almost dead. Nice dodge. Nice dodge. Okay. So now I don't want to let him tremor me. Did I not bring a boat? I did. Okay, he's about to die. I'm gonna let him sleep. It's a safer move here. And just pick up some shit in the meantime. Let's see, is there a bitter bug or anything nearby? No. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna be pretty much the end of this. Just gonna cap him, check what I got, and call it a day. I'm pretty fucking tired. I'm kind of curious, actually, in reflection-wise, to hear what I sound like. I know it sounds extremely narcissistic, but it's more so I'm curious to know, like, yo, like, what do I need to improve on? Like, why am I not able to provide that value that I'm talking about earlier? And what can I do to provide that? Because, I mean, I may end up as a software engineer the rest of my life. I may end up doing other stuff. I don't know. But at the same time, you know, what doesn't change is the next day I'm still going to be me. So, might as well try. At least try to become a better me. And let's see what we got. Some free fucking barrel right now. What the hell? 260 points. Alright. Okay. We got one. I'll take it. I'm hoping for an axe, but I'll take anything I can get. A blade, of course. I don't even play a sword and shield or dagger. It's okay. Or dual blades, I mean. That's fine. I'll be hunting more on Friday. When I stream that, I'm not gonna be doing this speech log though. It's gonna be having fun. I am curious on my own self-amusement of what I think is gonna be more enjoyable for myself to listen to. And I know that sounds kind of stupid. It's like, well, normally you're supposed to be thinking about what other people are thinking about, but at the same time, it's like, you know, do I really want to, you know, lose my control over my own stuff, or do I want to at least appreciate my own work, right? So I guess it's another way for me to look at it it's a way to appreciate my own work. So we're gonna go with that instead. Let's see here. Where is that sword and shield? Here we are. I need 2 of these, so I need an Odogaron and 1 more Streamstone. Not a problem, not a problem. How about Anguish? How far am I from that? Okay, I have 1. And let's see. What about this greatsword? Oh, I can actually... I don't know if that's really worth it though. 10% Affinity is pretty good, and health regen as well. Let's see. I'm actually kind of curious though. Let's see, 1008, which is bloated, of course. To this, high Elder Seal, high as well.
Skip a slot does not, but it has white sharpness. Okay, so I need to do the math, but if I give this one healing, I wonder kind of if maybe I need to Valhazak. But anyways, that's the end of this. I will be uploading this just because even though I don't have viewers, I still want to be able to watch this for myself. Not just on Twitch, but on YouTube. And I know this not always going to be the best content coming out. Because, you know, people make shit all the time, and it's however you look at it. So I will be uploading all of the shits, even the ones that I think are shits, just because it's something that I feel will help me to grow. I mean, back when I was a little younger, I ended up playing with a YouTuber on the other team, of course, but like he's an enemy in League. But that video I deleted because I was sorry ass little bitch and couldn't take people's YouTube comments. So feel free to flame this time, because I'm curious to see how I respond. And it's kind of like a new toy or a novelty for me to understand the new me. So, you know, if you get enjoyment out of flaming me, I'm kind of curious myself. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you're on YouTube or if you viewed this on Twitch, I'll be making more of these in the future. Probably the same type of theme. They're gonna be different. It's however I'm feeling. I'm trying to own that feeling, and I'm trying to own what's going on. That's the idea. So, anyways, thanks guys. I will make another one of these and see you guys another time. Thank you.